Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream today. I'm going to be going over the best class in MapleStory. So, thank you for joining me. Make sure you subscribe today. This is going to be a really long stream. I'm going to be going over everything I know about Xenon, and I'm going to be explaining to you why it's actually the best class in MapleStory, and really just because it's the best designed class. Okay, I'm going to be going over everything in this video, so make sure you watch till the end so you actually have the full scope of knowledge of why Xenon is the best. Because I'm going to be going over the damage, how to use the skills, why the skills are good, all the um the classes, everything. So that's what this stream is going to go over. I'm actually going to start the video to record, so I got to do an intro again. But thank you guys for joining, and just have some fun, and I hope you guys learn a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna start recording here in a second. So yeah. All right, everybody, welcome back to the video. My name is Jordan Dye, aka the Legendary Boss, and today we're going to be doing the best class in MapleStory. Yes, that is right. Today we're going to be doing the best class in MapleStory. Make sure you stay tuned for the whole video because I'm going to be going through the skills, what skills to use, why they're so OP, and just everything about Xenon. I'm going to be bossing, showing you like just how to clear maps, and make sure you stay for the whole video and make sure you're subscribed because that really does help me out. Okay, now without further ado, let's talk about Xenon, the main point of this video today. Why is Xenon the best class? Well, to tell you why it's the best class, I'm first going to have to go over all of the skills. Okay, I'm going to go over the skills, and we're going to talk about what they are, what they do, and why is it the best? Well, it's the best designed class, okay? And that's gonna come later on in a few of the other late game skills, and that's gonna show you really why it's the best designed class. But let's start with the basic skills, okay? So Xenon is a class that already has a good amount of basic skills. That means before you even start playing the class, you already got some things to look at. You already have things to learn, okay? It is a class with its own resource. Now, that's number one. Let's go over the first thing. It has an easy resource, okay? It's a supply surplus. This right here. This gives you extra all stat, okay? 1% all stat per unit of power, okay, and it goes up to 20, so you get 20% all stat. Now it's right here, and now the thing about this is it's easy. It's a class resource that you don't have to manage. In other class resources, you might have a form, you might have to use skills. Skills might take points or stuff like that. Or like if you're Kaiser, you might have to have a certain amount, or if you're Arc, you might have to have a certain amount. No, you do not have to worry about your class resource. All it does is give you extra damage, okay? So that's already right off the bat. It's already better than most classes because its class resource doesn't hinder you. It doesn't there's there's no downtime for it. All it does is make you stronger. So we already have one of the best class resources, or I want to say the best class resource in the game. If you take Demon Avenger, for example, how they use HP, well, you don't have to worry about that, okay? You have a unique class resource that gives you extra damage, and you don't have to manage it. So that is huge, okay? Because every other class resource you have to manage, okay? So let's go to the second one, Liberty Boosters. This right here, you can fly indefinitely. Okay, look at this. I can fly. Now, not only is this just cool, but you can also ignore lots of boss mechanics, and you can just get to places where you normally wouldn't be able to get. Um, I really can't understate how cool it is to fly, and I use this for like I use this for Lotus. Not Lotus. I use this for Lucid. I use this for Lucid. When the dragon comes down, you can just fly right over the dragon. And the cooldown is every 30 seconds. So when the cooldown, when it goes, it only lasts for 30 seconds, so at the last second you can catch yourself and turn it back on in midair, so you can last forever and you can fly forever. So already you have two amazing skills. And I also want to say that all of their basic skills, they continue to get better as you're playing the class. Okay, so not only does it have more skills starting out than most classes, but all of these skills also get stronger. Like multilateral keeps on getting stronger. Supply surplus, you get a you get 40% all stat and 20% final damage when you get another skill. Okay, so everything gets upgraded. So not only do you get lots of skills, okay, and we're just doing basic skills, all right? I'm telling you, this is why Xenon is the best class. We're already just doing basic skills. You get a class resource you don't have to manage, and you can fly indefinitely. And then, okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. You get multilateral. What this is going to do is it's going to give you all those weird stats. Okay, it's going to give you that knockback resistance, it's going to give you that elemental resistance, it's going to give you that abnormal status resistance, avoidability, and damage. Bruh. Okay, listen, you're getting all of those extra stats, okay, and damage from this skill, and it only continues to get better. So that's just amazing, okay? Absolutely amazing. Now modal, what's the next one? Mimic protocol. Okay, you can wear both pirate and thief equipment. Now, what this is basically going to do, if you get an armor set, or if you get a pirate weapon, or if you get a thief weapon, you can kind of you can adapt to whatever items you get, and you can wear those items. So you can wear both items from pirate and a thief. So you're basically a pirate and a thief. So that's already a huge major point right there. This is the only class in the game that can do this. You are both a pirate and a thief. This is the only class that can do that. Okay, so very useful, very helpful. You can pick whatever you want. I think thief is a little bit better because luck is better, and you can get more avoidability. So I think being a thief later on is better. Okay, so already you have one, two, three, four, five. Okay, and let's go over modal shift. You already have five skills. Okay, so modal shift basically makes your other skills have two or three other skills. Okay, so you're already getting more skills off the bat that other classes would not have. Okay, so you get three different types of whip blade, you get three different types of, you know, slashes, you get three different types of your main attack, you get three different types of your summon. Okay, so and all of these are basically, they help you adapt to whatever map you're fighting in. So that means whatever map Xenon's fighting in, you're going to have the right skill to use. You don't have to deal with the, you know, awkward things that other classes have to deal with. Like if a class gets a skill and it's not good for a certain map, then it just has to stick it out. But with Xenon, you're always going to have a skill that works for that map. Okay, so already your basic skills, you can fly forever, and all of these skills, you know, they get upgraded, they're useful the entire time you're playing the class. So, you know, the supply surplus, it has that 20% final damage, 40% all stat, no management, amazing, the best class resource. You can literally fly indefinitely, ignore boss mechanics, and this actually evolves into your origin skill. Okay, so, you know, like I said, everything evolves. Multilateral, it evolves. Okay, you get stronger. You get that elemental resistance. You get that abnormal resistance. Okay, you get that avoidability, damage, max HP and MP. Okay, and get this, because you're a thief, you know, you also get that avoidability, which is huge. You know, you get that evade. And later on, your triangular skills, or trilateral, I forgot what it's called. I didn't put it on here, but it actually decreases the amount of accuracy the boss has. So you have everything. You're getting everything with Xenon right off the bat, okay? So the other thing, modal shift, you basically turn one skill into three. It makes grinding easy. You know, it's either front facing, a bigger AoE around you, or damage. And I can kind of show you guys that. We'll actually go into yeah, we'll go into showing you guys. So you get beam spline, and that's your first job. Now, first job, we're just gonna start with first job since we went through the basics, so I can kind of show you guys modal shift and all that. So beam spine, it doesn't have anything. It's just a great, you know, little AoE. You can use it while you're jumping. Of course, they get a up jump. This is very important. Okay, they have a very good up jump. Okay, and it can be used 2 times back to back, so that's already great. um if you want a smooth up jump, I think that this upcoming patch that actually changes it to where I think every class has an up jump now. So this isn't as big, but it has an up jump, so that's nothing to be understated. And then it has a toggle for rockets, and this is basically a missile system. And this helps you clear mobs, and then you get multilateral 2, which is all those other things, and then you get the speed and jump, which is great. So good first job. You get a missile, you get the up jump, you get a good basic attack and a buff. Okay, that's really all you need to know for first job. Now for second job, this is when it starts getting interesting. Okay, you get Quicksilver, and what Quicksilver does is that's gonna be the skill that you can change on the modal. Okay, look at that. Actually, that is not the right one. I didn't put down the right skill. Okay, there we go. Quicksilver. So, as you can see, there's an up jump. Yeah. So, for example, if we were level, let's see, you know, let's go to a lower level map so I can show you guys. Go to Silent Swamp. So this skill right here would be perfect for Silent Swamp because you can go up and down, right? So let's say I'm training, I want to go up, boom, okay? But let's say I go to a different map, okay? So I can go over here and I can actually change this, okay? So let's do that. Now I can whip. Now it's a whip. Now it's going straight forward. Let's say, actually, can I turn Soul Janus off? I don't know if I can turn Soul Janus off. Anyway, I can whip it forward. Now, if I'm more on a flat map, I now can automatically adapt. Okay, so Xenon doesn't have the problems other classes have because it can adapt to any situation. Now, let's go ahead and look at the other one. So we went up. So I showed you all 3 of them. The up one, the one where it whips forward, and the one in the zigzag. The one in the zigzag, you see, you have a high damage one, you have a one that does a lot of damage, and then you usually have one that does AoE around you, okay? So, let's say you're doing a boss and you're a lower level, you can change it to this one and do more damage. So, already what we have at second job is the ability to adapt to any situation. If you need to hit mobs around you, we got you. If you need to hit mobs in front of you, you got you. We got you. If you need to hit one mob and do more damage, or really 3 mobs, we got you. Okay, if you need to do more damage, okay? So amazing already. Second job, amazing. Now you also get multilateral level 3. This is very important. Like I said, your basic skills, they keep on growing stronger. What this is going to do is it's going to give you more knockback resistance, more elemental resistance, more abnormal status resistance, and more avoidability. Okay, I'm telling you, this is why Xenon already encompasses basically everything. And then I do want to show you this real quick. Hexa triangulation, this is a little bit later on, this is like 3rd or 4th job, but as you can see, it actually decreases enemy accuracy per airframe. Okay, so along with all those other awkward stats built in, you're also lowering the oh, it's right here actually. You're 24% lower accuracy for each airframe, okay? So you're automatically getting lower enemy accuracy too. So you have a nice debuff on there. You got avoidability and minus damage taken, okay? So you really do have almost everything. And that's actually gonna be in third job. Okay, but before we go into third job, I do want to show you one more thing in second job that's very important. Ion thrust. Okay, this skill right here is basically a mount. And I'm going to show you this because it's very important for one map in particular. Okay, and we're actually going to go to that map because I like to train very quickly. So, I mean, there are probably different maps you can use it on, but like I said, I want to show you guys everything and go right here. So when you're leveling up, you're going to have about 20 levels in this map. And now, how fast, and this is why they added a dash to every class, how fast you clear this map is basically how fast you're going to level. And you just have to damage from left to right. That's all you're really going to do. If you're a warrior, you're going to be damaging, you know, with your thrust, and every other class has something kind of like it. But he does have a summon and sort of a mount already, which is kind of cool. It's kind of unique for a class. So this skill kind of gets a little shout out of its own just because it's a mount, and it's extremely efficient for this map. So, you know, when you get to this map, I think you get to this map like level 75, you can go to this map. And I go at this map specifically, I go from 75 to 100. So I do 25 levels in this one map, and all you do is just go back and forth damaging. It's perfect for that. Bueno, you're going to be leveling up extremely fast, and you're going to get third job extremely fast, okay? So then you're going to get to third job. We're going to have the new mobbing attack skill, okay? And what is this going to do? Well, it's going to be a big whip, okay? Look at that range. Look at that nice range. But let's say that I don't want to use that. Let's say I need more damage, okay? Well, boom. We got more damage, okay? We got a different skill with more damage, okay? Just something uniqueness. You get 3 different skills off of one. Amazing. But let's say I need to go up. Well, boom. Okay, now we got a little shotgun. We got a little shotgun up, okay? Boom, look at that. Now, if I was back at a different map, or just, you know, if I go to the right and the map is more linear, now I can switch it up. Now I can go to any map I want, and that is the beauty of Xenon, and that is why Xenon is one of the best classes. I'm showing it to you guys here in Raw, okay? Not only do they get that, but they also get a shadow partner. This class has everything, guys, okay? So let's hop back over to here real quick. So we got the modal shift. I showed it to you already. You can change and you can switch and really adapt to any map. That is crazy. You don't have to, like, the name of Xenon is adaptability. You don't have to settle. You can do everything and you will do everything. So adaptability and grinding. You know, you're going to have the ion thruster. That's going to help you get 25 levels really quickly. You got the propulsion boost. You can jump upwards. You got the modal shift. You can literally attack, you can focus on more damage, more AoE, or AoE around you in linearly, okay? And then you got the salvo system, which is basically a missile system like other classes. So you have a lot of things. And then when you get later on, you get to focus on either doing damage or doing multi-attacks. So now, now that we got that, we got triangulation. We already talked about that. Upgrade to our salvo boost. Now let's talk about the bread and butter of the Xenon class, Beam Dance and Mecha Purge. So Beam Dance is a hurricane skill. So we're gonna put Beam Dance back on here. Boom. And it's a hurricane skill, so that means you just hold it down and you move. And Xenon was actually the first hurricane class that could move, okay? It was amazing when this came out. It was crazy, and I love the upgrade they gave it. I have my Hexa on now, so it's blue and it's bigger. So that's really what that's gonna do. Okay, so Mecha Purge is the next skill. That's gonna be your main skills. Now, because I have my Hexa, or I have my, yeah, I have my Hexa upgrade, you're not gonna see the other skill for third job. Okay, I can't show it to you. I can always because they removed one and they only gave you two options. The reason for this is because they made it easier. They made it a no-brainer. Okay, so we're gonna show you the first one, which is the mobbing skill. Now you'll notice when I first do this attack that it's gonna send um the robot forward. Okay, boom, you're gonna kill everything, and it's basically a combination of the old skill, if two of the old skills in one. Okay, so Rudy's gonna fly forward, but this is the main skill. Okay, so now it's an AoE around him, and then every now and then it's gonna send out Rudy. Now this kind of syncs up with the spawn rate. So the reason they did this is you're basically gonna kill everything in front of you. Okay, that's all you got to worry about. You're gonna kill everything in front of you every time when you use the mobbing attack. It's great for mobbing. Gets the you know, panels above and below. So they just gave you the mobbing skill. Okay, they gave you a great mobbing skill. It's built in and designed to do what it needs to do. Okay, now when you go to execute is the second one, or the first one really. It focuses on one target. Okay, and it'll do explosions, or actually it's upgraded now, so it actually focuses 5, which is actually pretty good. But this is their more of their single target damage. Okay, so when I do this, it's going to get upgraded every now and then, and it's actually going to do AoE damage. Okay, and what that's going to do, this is their main bossing attack. Okay, so what that's going to do is it's going to, like, if you're in Zokum and it summons mobs, those mobs are going to get destroyed, and you're not going to have to switch up your bossing attack. You're just going to continue to do your bossing attack. Okay, so you know, Xenon is designed to where you can just focus on your one skill, your execute, and keep on doing damage. Now you have the combination of beam dance, right? You have beam dance and mecha purge at the same time. So I'm going to show you guys this in Lotus later on, but there's different situations where you want to do beam dance. There's different situations where you want to do snipe. Okay, you have a hurricane and you have a snipe. Now the great thing about this is when you get to Hexa, right? And I'm kind of skipping over fifth job, but we'll go back. When you get to Hexa, your beam dance actually summons a projection robot. That's what this thing is right here. Actually, that's what this little robot is right here. See, Xenon actually has. I would argue Xenon is a summon class because we have a lot of summons. If you actually look at the class description, a lot of our skills are summons. But that's what this skill is going to be right here. It's going to be a robot that does a projection, and that's what all those extra attacks are. So even when you're using execute on a boss, okay, you're actually going to be able to use beam dance automatically, and that's what they did. That's why this class is perfect, because your efficiency for doing damage, and I'm going to come around to this point again, is off the charts. Even when you're using your main attack, you're also using your hurricane. It's crazy. And there are different situations where you have to move anyway during a boss, and you normally you wouldn't be able to do damage, but since we're Xenon and we have a hurricane, I'll show you this in Lotus later, we can actually continue to do damage without having to stop by using by switching back to hurricane. So let's say the boss is stationary, I'll be using execute, but let's say there's stuff raining down from the top. Well, then I can use beam dance, the hurricane, right? I can dodge the falling I can dodge the boss's attacks, right? But still do damage to the boss, and then go back to using execute because that's more damage efficient. Okay, so your damage efficiency is like off the charts with Xenon. Like every skill is, you know, you're using every skill when you're fighting. It's crazy. Like you're not ever not using a skill. So let's go back to fourth chop. So we actually have a multilateral 5, and 6 at the same time, all in fourth job. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to give you more avoidability, more damage, more of those weird stats. Okay, boom, enemy def ignore, knock. That's the last of your knockback resistance, so you get 100% knockback resistance built in. That's always great to have on a class. You also have additional chance of evasion. Okay, so like I said, this is a thief and a pirate mixed together, so you're gonna have a lot of avoidability. Um, and then you're also gonna get your first summon or your first real summon. And what this is gonna do
Diagonal chase.
is it's gonna make grinding
Area secure.
easier. Okay, look how huge that is. And I do have the upgraded one, but honestly, it's still big regularly. Okay, so you're going to have a huge AoE to help you grind. This is going to be very important. So its grinding is insane. Okay? So the adaptability in grinding, you even have the thing. So we'll come back to that in a second. Um so you have your summon, right? So you get your summon, you got your hurricane, and then you got your mobbing attack and your single target attack in your snipe, okay? So you have everything here. You can move, you can evade. Okay, now let's go into hypers. So you have your class bind. Let's go, everybody. You get your class bind. This is very important. If you guys are new to MapleStory or um if you don't know what that means to have a class bind, that basically means you get a bind from fifth job, and you if you have a class bind, you can bind the boss again. So how this would work and to maximize your damage is you would use your origin skill, okay? And then you would bind them with your class skill or your normal fifth job bind. And then you would switch off. If you didn't use your fifth job bind, you would use your class skill and vice versa. Okay. So that's how to stun the boss 3 different times. And that's going to that you're going to do your burst cycle within those 3 different times that you're stunning. So if you don't have a class stun like Xenon has here, if you don't, because there are classes that do not have a class stun. If you don't have a class stun, you can only do 2 things. You can use your burst origin in this stun, and then you can use the fifth job in stun, okay? But if you have a class stun, then you can make your burst even longer and hold down the boss longer. So it's the difference between being able to hold down the boss longer and do more damage, and that's going to be insane. So it has a it has a class bind, okay? Awesome. Amazing. We're going to want to see that. Now, let's go to Orbital Cataclysm. Oh my god, this skill right here, guys. This skill. Oh my god. Orbital Cataclysm. The oopsies button. The easy button. The I did it button. This is an iframe, okay? In your invincible wall casting. This is an iframe that is a cooldown for 50 seconds. That means you get an iframe ready to go every 50 seconds that also increases your damage to the boss and is a full map attack. Yo, this skill right here is if you're a new player, if you're a player that has trouble doing bosses, let me tell you this skill right here. You get an iframe every 50 seconds. It's like a oops. It's like a oopsie button. Okay, if a because there's there's attacks in every boss that does 100% HP. It does all your HP. So for you having an iframe ready to go almost every time makes bosses way easier to do. And on top of that, it actually reduces the enemy death by 30% and it gives you increased damage. No, it just reduces enemy death. Enemy death. No, it does. It reduces enemy defense and increases damage by 10%. So look at that. That is an oopsie button, easy button, and increases your damage iframe. Like this skill is insane. I did not understand how good this skill was until I started bossing. Okay, like you use it, it's a full map attack, you got it, right? But when you get to the bosses, like literally any boss, and you can just you know their skill that's gonna kill you is coming up, boom, invincible, and you do more damage, so you can burst them after that. Crazy value in one skill, and it's a full map attack also. So look
Critical
at that,
point
it's a
surpassed.
crazy amount of value. You're invincible for like 1-2 seconds, however long it takes to cast, and boom, just amazing. Now for your third one, this basically just gives you full
Temporary overflow active.
It just gives you full charge. Okay, so you really never have to worry about your thing being uncharged. Now, I'll go ahead and go over what passive skills you should take. I like using beam dance, so I get speed when using beam dance. I get damage when using beam dance. I don't worry about monsters hit. I do damage for purge, do ignore death for purge. I don't worry about monsters hit because I usually wipe the map anyway. And then I increase the orb speed on your hologram field. And let me show you guys that because I didn't show you guys the purple one.
Area
And what this
secure.
is going to do is you see the balls bouncing around in there. Every time a ball hits an edge, it's going to do damage. And if you increase the speed, you're just increasing the damages. So that's why I get that. And there's actually three different ones.
Area
I think
secure.
with the red one, let's go ahead and take a look at the red one. You get a 10% max HP boost. So he's also a little bit of a support. Like I said, Xenon does everything. So if you want to support people, you can do that. And then the blue
Hypogram
one is
field.
actually just still damage, but I don't know why you would use that one because the
Area
purple
secure.
one does more damage. So that's a real quick overview of the hypergram field, okay? And then the OOP arts code that just gives you final and boss damage, okay? That's fourth job. You don't need to know anything else for fourth job, just some extra stuff. So let's go on to fifth job. Now, fifth job. So, fifth job, you're going to get your Omega Blaster. This skill is going to be one of your biggest burst skills, okay? You're going to be invincible while you're using this skill. Okay, the duration is 6 seconds. Let's actually read it because it is a little bit of a long skill. And I'm actually going to go to town because it keeps on going invisible. If you are watching the video still, please subscribe. It really does help me. Follow me on all platforms. You already know. Now, Omega Blaster. Okay, so the duration is 6 seconds. Okay, you're invincible while attacking, and you can charge it up. Hold down the skill to increase the duration by 1 second for every 2 seconds charged, up to 6 seconds max. Okay, so I think that's like 9 seconds total you can be invincible, which is pretty amazing. Okay, think about it, you're blasting them, you're doing damage, and you can be invincible. But wait, that's not all. In sixth job, you can actually place this down and keep on doing damage, but I'll show you that, guys, later. Okay, you can actually place this down so it has a placement too. Okay, now you also get core overload. Now what this is going to do, remember we talked about the class resource and the basic skill, the supply surplus. Well, now that gets upgraded. Now you're going to be doing damage around you in an AoE, and you're be getting final damage and more all stat. Okay,
Critical point
so
surpassed.
this is basically just a damage over time. Doing damage around you, kind of an honestly like an AFK skill too, because you can kind of just AFK and just let it do damage around you for 45 seconds. The amount of the grinding with this class is amazing. Okay, so photon ray, oh my god, guys, we got to go to photon ray. This skill is amazing. Oh my god, I want to spend like an hour on this skill. I promise you guys, this skill is amazing. So basically, what happens is you press it, and you're going to a symbol is going to come up to where you're locking onto a boss. Okay, you're going to lock on to the boss for about 20 seconds. Okay, now before the 20 seconds is up, you're going to press it again, and it's going to launch missiles. Now, what this does is it allows you to fight back where most classes can't. Okay, if a boss knocks you away, or you have to jump away, or you have to do something, you have to react to the boss, you have to stop doing damage. But because you have this skill, you can actually charge up damage. This skill is meant to be charged up. Okay, so you can charge up damage while you're getting knocked back, while you're having to run away, while you're having to jump, or while you're using skills. You can charge up damage and you can still upkeep your DPS on the boss. There's no other skill like this. I cannot like the simplicity of how the skill works, but how it actually rewards you, when you're getting knocked back or when you have to do something is extremely rewarding, okay? And the best way I can describe this, so I'm going to show it to you guys, right? I'm going to press D. All right, it takes out this thing, and if there was a boss here, it would be locking on, and I wouldn't even have to do anything. I would just let it lock on for a second. It would probably be fully charged, and then I would release it, and it would shoot the boss. And let me just show you. I'll show it to you guys. Oh, that's not even a boss. Okay. Now, the reason why this skill is so freaking amazing, guys, so freaking amazing, is because you can fight back when normally other classes can't. And I've never had a class that could still fight the boss, like real, like you can do something. Like if I'm fighting Lotus, right? Let's do Lotus. Lotus is the best example of, just being able to fight. I'm going to show you guys this. Okay, we're just going to go into practice mode, enter. Okay, so if Lotus knocks me back or the ground becomes electric, okay, I will have to jump up or do something, right? What it can see like this, I'll have to move. I can press D. See how I just press D and I'm getting targets on the boss, right? And the ground's electric. Okay, right? I can press D and it actually stops. It actually stops you mid-air. So if you want to use it and then you want to stop in midair to like dodge the lasers, you can also use it to stop in midair. So it has a dual use for that as well. So let's say I'm fighting Lotus, right? I'm pressing D right now. Okay, so it's still on cooldown. I'm fighting Lotus, fighting Lotus, fighting Lotus. Okay, right? And now I'm gonna press D, right? Because the lasers came out. I press D, boom, I just did damage in midair, dodged the lasers, okay, right? It just feels so rewarding, okay? And now see, like I have to jump too, and let me show you while we're here, I'm gonna show you blade dance as well. So for Lotus, right, you see how the lasers are still there? I can get out the way of the lasers and still do damage because I have Hurricane. I have a Hurricane skill. Now, if I can go back because there are no lasers, I can go back to my main skill. Lasers are coming out, switch back to Hurricane, dodge the lasers, boom, go back to my main skill. Okay, you see how these things are coming down? These spears of metal are coming down, try to hit me. I can dodge them and still do damage because I have Hurricane. Okay, so you see how the lasers are still there? I can up jump. I can up jump. You see how the ground is still there? Being charged, I can up jump with my Hurricane. So that's another thing with Hurricane. So Hurricane and this skill right here, extremely rewarding to use. And I want him to push me back, but that's kind of random. But let's act like I'm being pushed back, right? Let's say you just pushed me back. I can press D. Oh, I just died. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's act like I'm being knocked back, right? I could press D and press the target skill and target. Let's say I'm, he's all the way on the other side of the map. I can charge up my target skill and charging up damage, so I'm upkeeping my DPS. So the upkeep of DPS is extremely efficient, okay? And then you also have Cataclysm, of course, the skill where you do more damage and you get an iframe. So the adaptability in general of just being able to fight bosses, you can basically be prepared for every scenario. You don't have to be one of those classes that maybe has to go to the side and then wait to do damage, okay? Or if you're getting knocked back, well, guess what? I pressed D before I got knocked back, and now I'm in the corner while we're all here, but I'm different because I'm charging up my damage, and now I can come back. Now I'm around the boss, and now I can release the D, I can release the D. Anyway, this skill right here is insane, guys. Like, you can always fight back. You can use it mid-air. You can use it. It's just a great skill. It's not as you can use it while using other skills. You know what I mean? So it's great. I cannot like you just have to play it to know, but like if you're fighting a boss and they're pushing you back a lot or they're running around, this is just a great skill to have. So you're always able to do something. Now, we already talked about beam dance. The skill efficiency is crazy. So even if you're not using beam dance and you're switching to your mecha purge, right? Well, guess what? We got that robot that's summoned, and that what that's gonna do is that's gonna whip out holograms of me doing the beam dance. I don't know if you guys saw it earlier. I tried to show it to you guys, but we'll go back once. Okay. What that's gonna do is that's gonna whip out holograms of, you know, of the beam dance. So I'm still using my hurricane while I'm using my main skill. Okay. So the skill efficiency is crazy. So before we go to that, let me show you. So I think I went over all of the fifth job skills. Let's go over Hexa real quick. I already showed you the upgraded masteries. You get more rockets, you get the field, you get the Hexa iframe. Okay, let's get into the bread and butter. The artificial evolution. What this actually does is actually an
Boosters
upgrade to your
online.
fly skill. So, like I said, Xenon can fly, which is actually kind of freaking crazy, like forever type stuff. Okay, so it's actually an upgrade to that. And what it basically does is it summons an enhanced airframe. Okay, and what that does is it lets you fly around the map and basically just destroy everything. There's only one other class that even has basically the same skill, which is Ilium, and it's just insane. So if I press it right here, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna summon the airframe, like, and I can literally just fly. I can fly around the map doing damage. This is insane. Okay, like this skill, like when this came out on Ilium, like it was insane. Like that's why Ilium is one of the most overpowered classes. Is it because it has it has this skill. It can just fly around the map, just do damage and destroy. And Xenon got that. And that's why I'm saying Xenon is literally one of the best classes because you're going to be able to fly around, ignore boss mechanics. Like when I'm doing, when I'm doing, um, Lucid, I can just fly over all of her attacks and just destroy her. Okay, so this is like literally one of the most overpowered skills in MapleStory, and one of the only skills that even rivals it is Ilium, and that is one of the most OP skills. So he gets one of the most OP skills in the game, if not the most OP. Okay, he's getting enhanced airframe. You can fly, and on top of that, you can actually set up your Omega Blaster. So I can't do it right now because I already did it, but I didn't even show you guys the Omega Blaster. This is the Omega Blaster right here. Just tons of damage. You're invincible the whole time. So if you know a boss mechanic is coming up, you can just pop that, hold it up, charge it up, and you can actually do that, and you can actually place it down. So now that we went over every single skill, let me show you what we have. So he has every single type of skill. He's got the hurricane. He's got the single and the multi-target. He's got the class bind. He's got the full mappa type. He can literally fly. He's got an easy class resource you don't have to manage. He's got an installation. He's got iframes. He's got summons. He's got destruction, literally destruction skill where you can just fly around and kill everything. Okay, the only other class besides Ilium that has one. Of course, he's got the hurricane. He's got the damage over time. It's going to be the core overload. He's got the damage charge up. Okay. Or is it the damage charge up? The photon ray. I was just talking about the photon ray. This is one of the most amazing skills in the game because you can just react to certain situations and upkeep your damage, and it feels good. Like if a boss knocks you back, well, guess what? I'm charging it up. You might have knocked me back, but guess what? I pressed D at that split second, and now I'm coming back. And when I get to you, you're gonna explode. It feels amazing. I've never met a class like that. So then we got a dash, we got the diagonal chase, we got a mount, the summons, the missiles, the up jump. This class has everything Oh my God, does it has everything. You can be a pirate, you can be a thief. Guys, come on. This class has everything, okay? So, you know what and then the low grinding effort. Okay, this is actually really huge because late game, you have your Soul Erta, and Soul Erta is extremely expensive. Your Soul Erta is extremely expensive. And you want to be able to grind efficiency, and Xenon has one of the lowest funding late game grindings ever. Okay, and the reason for this, I'll actually show it to you, is already you have four summons. You get the hypergram field, you got your fusion of the hypergram field, and those can be placed separately. You got your Urta shower, you got your true arachnid. Okay, those are all your summons before you even get Soul Janus. So if you just get Soul Janus level 1, you can clear the whole entire map. Now, other classes, what they have to do is they got to get Soul Janus level 30. They got to get Soul Janus level 20. Okay, because they need these big summons to help them grind. But with Xenon, guess what? You don't need that. You have huge AoE summons, so you get some of the best. And on top of that, bro, Xenon has had some of the best damage in the game for years. So you're getting some of the best damage in the game, but you also have some of the lowest grinding in the game. You have an iframe every 50 seconds, my boy. I'm telling you, Xenon has everything. So low funding, you get the four summons. Also, you get the skill. You can basically AFK for 45 seconds because of core overload. It just does a ton of damage all around you. And what's going to help you clear is the missile system you have, the Hexa Beam Dance robot you have. And then I actually use Soul Janus Dusk, not the Soul Janus that has an orb, because I already have huge summons. So with the missile systems, the Beam Dance, and Soul Janus Dusk, I'm going to show it to you. I'll show it to you guys right now, actually. I'm basically destroying the whole entire map, without having to do anything. So let's go to a map that I would actually be grinding to now. So I'm going to show you guys, this is a map that if I was grinding, I'm not grinding right now. I'm going to show you. So we'll set up one right here. We'll set up that orb right there. We'll set up the arachnid right here. We'll set up the fusion right here. Like, bro, that's already the whole map. That's already the whole map, guys. Like, I don't even have to do anything. But the problem with what I do is because this huge, you see how the whole map is getting destroyed because of my missiles and everything? I'm not doing anything, guys. Okay? So, the fusion, you see how it goes off because it's on a cooldown? That's when you do the overload. And what the overload does is it basically just kills all the mobs around you. And what that's going to do is, I'm not buffed up or anything right now, so I'm not completely destroying the map. I don't even think I have my missiles on. Yeah, I didn't even turn on my missiles, so. Anyway, I'm destroying the whole map, and I have huge summons. And right now I'm using Dust, right? But let's say, I want to change it. Let's say I want to change it to the orb, right? So we'll go back over here. We'll place my hypergram field. Place my Urta shower. Okay. Do my fusion. And that's already the whole map. So I wouldn't even have to place anything else down. Okay. That's before me using Soul Janus. Now, I have to use my Soul Janus because I don't have this on a skill right now. But like, let's say I want to put this in the corner over here because I got that covered, right? I put the Soul Janus right there. That's in the corner. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm basically killing the entire map, okay? And killing the entire map, and most of the time I just AFK. So you have huge summons, so the grinding Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So you see, it really doesn't do as much, and that's why I actually used the other Soul Janus because it activates your missiles and beam dance. So on Xenon, it's actually better to have Dusk, and then that's basically going to kill all of that side. You know what I mean? So Xenon has one of the best late game, low funding, low effort. I can literally stand, watch. I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna kill the entire map. See, done. I'm killing the entire map for 45 seconds. I don't have to do anything. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. So easy grinding, right? And we already have one of the best bossing classes, okay? Like, look at that. Amazing. So you only need Soul Janus level 1 and you're already destroying the whole map. Tell me another class that can do that. Please. I'm begging you. Okay? I'm begging you. Okay? So you basically have there's not anything you don't have. And I want to show you guys some of the boss mechanics you can ignore because that's kind of it for all of the skills. So let me show you some boss mechanics that I like to mess around with. So let me show you Lucid because Lucid's a great one. So the thing with Lucid is, there's a couple of, and that's why I love Xenon. There's a couple of boss mechanics you can ignore. For example, if there's a ton of, if she has a ton of summons around her, if she has like a ton of, flowers around her, stuff like that, what you can do is you can use your origin skill right there. And what you can do is you can just fly over her. So you see how I'm just ignoring all of the boss mechanics? Like she will summon things and she does those little flowers and I can just be up here. I can just dodge them as easy as I want doing damage. And I'm a hurricane up, okay? So that's easy. Now, let's say she's summoning the little dragon. Hopefully she'll summon the dragon here in a bit. So let's say she summons the dragon, okay? Well, then I can just fly. Okay? I can infinitely fly. It doesn't matter. Okay? Boom. Look at that. Just fly the whole time. Just fly over. See how she's summoning the dragon right now? Boom. Look at that. See, I'm telling you, if you are a new player, if you are a returning player, even if you're an old player, my theory is that Xenon is so good and so unique, has so many classes, so much adaptability that Xenon will continue to compete with new classes. Okay, Xenon competes with. Oh look, hold on. Oh, I pressed that iframe as soon as I was about to die. I'm telling you guys, the countdown timer was right on my head, and I just pressed the iframe. It's an easy button. Oops, I didn't. Man, Xenon is crazy, guys. So, you can basically ignore tons of boss mechanics. You have that iframe you can use. You have the Omega Blaster you can put down. You're invincible. You can fly. You got the missile system. You got the damage over time. You got the charge up skill that helps you upkeep your damage. It's like you have everything. So what does this look like all put together, Jordan? What does it look like? Let's add it all together. Let's add the flying. Let's add the photon ray. Let's add the damage over time. Let's add the Omega Blaster. Let's add it all together, okay? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a boss. Yep, that's right. I'm going to put it all together for you guys, and I'm going to show you what I do, what the boss does, okay? And I'm going to show you what it is. So, and I also wanted to show you guys one more little thing that I forgot to mention. So if you look real closely, right, at my class or the Xenon weapon, you get a little bit of an electrical effect. Now, in old school Maple, this would be like a skill that you would level up and then you would get this, like for Dragonite or even Yvonne, but it's kind of just built into the class. If you're using a blade weapon, you also get an extra added bonus effect, and you can already fly and all that. And, so Xenon is just crazy. The value you get with the uniqueness of the class is crazy. So let's put back on my weapon. Let's get ready. to defeat Lotus. I'm going to show you everything because Lotus is a great boss to just show you guys what I'm talking about. And I'm going to be running through what skills I'm using while I'm doing Lotus. I'm actually going to wait 2 minutes for my skill to come up. And let's see what else we got. Okay, so let's go over my combat power so you guys know what I'm looking like while I'm doing this boss. Okay, so I got the strength, I got the dex, I got the critical, the damage, the boss damage. Nothing you guys really need to know. My combat power is around 20 mil. That's really it. Okay, and then I have challenger gear, just a whole bunch of challenger gear. I'm going to show you guys my gear real quick. Nothing too fancy. All of this stuff is actually not that strong. Okay, it's really the challenger gear that's really getting me through all this, and then I do have a decent secondary. And now a little cool thing that I noticed actually when I was doing this that I wanted to say is that if you read this real quick, the supply surplus, if you read it, it says at the bottom, the last sentence says Android heart can also be equipped in the power source slot. So your Android heart, right? So let's say if I didn't have my power source, right? This is an emblem. That's usually what an emblem is. You can actually take your Android heart and you can put it in your power source, okay? Hold on. So you can take your Android heart, right? And you put it in your power source where an emblem might be. Just another unique thing about the class. I'm just giving it all to you guys. I'm telling you guys, Xenon is literally the best class. Now, I don't know exactly what benefit this would be unless you're getting like a black heart later in game and you're able to put it to where your emblem is and then just have like an extra Android heart that's really powered up. Maybe you can have 2 black hearts. I don't know. I don't know. But I do want to say a little neat quirk there for Xenon. Okay, so let's put on my metal and yeah, let's show you guys Xenon. And I'm actually going to be fighting Lotus. Okay, so of course the first thing you're going to do, you're going to buff up and then you're going to put down your fusion field. Okay,
Maximum output. What will this do to me?
okay, you're going to put down your fusion field, you're going to put down your iframe, you're going to put over your damage over time. Okay, and you're gonna start. We didn't do it. We didn't do execute right. Okay, then you're gonna start using execute. Boom, that's it. Okay. And now what you can do is you can actually charge up your Omega Blaster. Remember, we gotta charge up our Omega Blaster for a little bit, and that means whenever we release it, we're gonna do a lot of damage. Okay. Now remember our fusion hologram's done. So now we're going to release it. And now remember, this is why I like that one skill so much. You can actually use that one skill. So I just used that missile skill, like I said, during the Omega Blaster. I'm telling you, it's a skill within a skill, guys. It's amazing. A skill to do damage within a skill. Okay, so it's getting pretty crazy here. This is actually hard. Lotus, I forgot. It's not going to be as easy as I thought it was, guys. But don't worry, we're the boss, and we just use our origin skill. Okay, let's get crazy. Let's get crazy and wild with you. You're not beating me. You're not beating the boss today, Lotus. I'm giving it to you. It might take too long for this review, guys. I'm not gonna lie, but I am showing you guys what to do. So, like I said, you just fly around, ignore all the mechanics. Let's say I want to use Hurricane. That's my favorite skill. Look at that. It's looking crazy. Like, what is happening? I'm flying. I'm doing damage. You see how he just stunned me? Now I can use that one skill I praise so much, the Photon Ray. Boom, I can jump up because I'm using Hurricane. But guess what? I don't want to use Hurricane anymore. Now I can use Execute, but the beam dance is still going on in the background. Oh, man. I can solo this boss, guys. Don't worry. I'm just trying to show you guys the overall skills. So, you know, that's really the comboing. I guess we'll do a little bit more. So, like I said, I specifically like beam dance. Like, you see how there's lasers in the floor? You literally have to jump in Lotus. That's why I like beam dance, because you can keep on doing damage. So in every situation, if you know the boss is right, you'll probably be able to keep your damage very high. So I want to say Xenon, people always talk about, those classes you can boss with that, if you just do bosses, if you boss for a long time, if you're not worried about how long it takes you, you can do bosses at like a lower level. I want to say Xenon is one of those classes. You see how I'm just firing away right here? Use my little missile launcher, boom, damage, switch back to Hurricane, jump up, s- you know, charge up my Omega Blaster, and that's really it. Just rinse and repeat. And see, I love the Hurricane. You don't understand how great it is to have a class with Hurricane and have a single target attack, because moving with a Hurricane, like that's the new Lin skill. Why do you think Lin is OP? Because she can move with the Hurricane, okay? And Xenon can already do that. Like, admittedly, you can't flash jump, but the fact that you can up jump with your Hurricane is insane, and almost just as good at being able to flash jump to the right or left. Because you can see, like right now, I'm dodging all the lasers. I'm doing the dance. I'm doing my iframe. Like, it's just a class that, like I don't know. It's just so well put together, and everything you have is so useful in every situation. And the fact that you have basically like every kind of skill, I mean, you even have like a shadow partner, is crazy. Okay, so I'm not going to completely like kill Lotus here because that's going to take too long. I just want to show you guys kind of like my thoughts running through a boss, and why I think Xenon is so good. So what else do we have? I already went and showed you the modal shift, the best resource in the game. You get 3 skills from one. You get basically all the weird stats, and you get enemy accuracy down with the triangulations. It's just like, what more could you want? You know what I mean? What more could you want? You literally have everything. You even got the diagonal chase now. They added that in. So if you need to jump over like a big boss real quick, or you need to jump over something, you can do that. So I'm telling you guys, there's really like I cannot conceive of any kind of skill that Xenon does not have. And that's really because of, the 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 modal. Like, I mean, if I need to do if I need, I just don't know, guys. Like, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And then I do want to say also for multilateral, because it's plus strength, plus dex, plus luck, not in, that whenever you have things like your Legion, or let's look at Legion for a second. Like Legion, you just have all those random stats because you just made characters basically. Let's say you have the dex, you got the strength, you got some lux for making characters. Xenon benefits from all of it. Okay? So it's just an amazing class, and that's why Xenon is the best class in MapleStory. All right, guys, that's going to be it from me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. Most of you are not subscribed. It helps me make videos. Please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. What is your favorite class? Do you agree with me? I have a new Discord in the description below where you can game with me and ask me questions all day. So make sure you guys check that out. And that's going to be it from me today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace. All right, guys, if you're still sticking around for this stream, I'm really just going to be chilling and, just grinding up my characters, getting ready for Lynn. And the way I'm doing that is I'm getting level 3 link skills. So I need to go level up my other characters. That's all I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be having fun, chilling. If there's anyone in the chat, we can hang out. We can do whatever you want to do. Just let me know, man. Let me know. It actually is kind of late. I'm not gonna lie, guys. So, I might, yeah, I might actually end the stream because it is late. Yeah. Peace. Actually, Maybe not, because I was going to level up my characters. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Stick around. Find out. I might stream. I might not. Who knows? Hope you all enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you have not. I need to level up my Lin. A, 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 A. All right. So I actually want to join the class Discord. There's supposed to be a class Discord, you know. Discord. Class Discord. Mm, I got a class Discord. All right, guys, I for real might end the stream here. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end the stream. Peace.